Birthplace, you're listening to the Flipside with MJ and the Rook.
MJ and the Rook.
We'll talk a little bit about NBA and money.
Money.
First, we got a story. The Hornets, in looking for an owner, really, looking for somebody to buy the team. Nothing was negotiated, so the NBA purchased the New Orleans Hornets in fear that they would have to relocate or just drop out. And really the reason for it was, at least in my mind, it's a football town, New Orleans. And obviously they've struggled over the past couple years with other things, Katrina. But the Hornets are really struggling attendance-wise. And it's funny because, you know, NBA teams don't really go for sale. I mean, it's not something that gets, you know, brought up a lot. And, you know, especially to the degree now where the NBA had to buy, you know, the team just to keep it afloat. But this is really a short-term kind of deal. The NBA's pretty much just looking for a local owner to buy the team. They don't plan on, you know, running it too long. And due in part because of the attendance and prices, you know, the NBA is becoming gradually less affordable for families. As of this year, the average ticket price for a game is $48, which is actually
pretty expensive.
It's expensive, but that's actually a number that has dropped.
Yep.
Believe it or not.
Well, I believe it. I mean, economy and stuff. I mean,
right.
They have to drop it.
Right. No, I mean, it makes sense that it has dropped, but it's still, I mean, for a family of four, at that price, we're talking about $200, and that's just tickets. That's not incorporating gas, parking, you know, food and beverage at the game. So that's just the tickets itself.
Collectibles. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, that's a little ridiculous. And what's even more ridiculous is teams like the Los Angeles Lakers, New York, Boston, Chicago, and Portland, who all have the highest ticket prices. The average ticket price for the Lakers is $95.25.
Wow.
Which is up 2.1%, which doesn't make much sense because most teams are dropping it. New York has always been expensive. Their average ticket price is $88.66, which hasn't changed from last year. Boston's average ticket price is $68.55. Chicago's is $64.25, and Portland is $63.05. Which, you know, it's just this is why I remember our first show, Mark. We talked about the lockout, and this is one of the minor reasons that the NBA is looking towards the lockout. It's just that the fans are the ones that, you know, drive the NBA. Without their money, you know, we wouldn't have an NBA. Obviously, you have rich owners who can afford the players, but, you know, tickets, merchandise, and everything that surrounds that is the reason, and not just in basketball, but how professional sports run. So with a decline in attendance, you know, a team itself can't make money, and you also have to look at it from a city point, because not only does, you know, but I'll just take New Orleans for an example. Not only do the fans, you know, by coming to the games, support the Hornets, but that money also goes into the community because the Hornets, you know, make money for the city. Mm-hmm. So it's like Cleveland. I remember I was working with my father, and I was talking to this banker, and he's from New York, but he did business in Cleveland, and he was telling me how the city of Cleveland itself would lose about $250 million if this was before he left, if LeBron left.
Yep.
And that's just a single player.
Well, I wonder why.
Well, I mean, like you said, you incorporate everything into the city. Everybody wanted to come see LeBron, so you've got, you know, hotels, you know, gas stations, restaurants, bars, and, you know, that's not even including, you know, ticket prices at Quicken Loans Arena, merchandise, and everything else.
Right.
So, you know, that's how much of an impact professional sports has on a city. And if you can't, with the Hornets, if you're not putting fans into the seats, the NBA, going into a lockout, or as we assume so, yeah, I mean they really can't afford for a team not to prosper. So David Stern obviously wants to keep the Hornets in New Orleans. I mean that's his goal. That's obviously.
I mean that's because they were first in Charlotte, and now they had to move to New Orleans because they couldn't put up with the money, and then Charlotte raised money and got the Charlotte Bobcats. So
right.
You're probably going to see a lot of this just because of the economy. I mean,
oh, yeah. No doubt that all of this has to do with the struggling economy. It's not all of a sudden fans aren't going to games, but...
Right. But you have, like you said, you have big cities like L.A., Boston, New York, Chicago. They have a fan base, Boston has the Celtics, they have the Red Sox, they have the Patriots, they have the Bruins. A team like Portland, they don't have much. They have University of Oregon Ducks.
Right.
They have Oregon State. I mean, you're talking college football there, but I mean that's basically their football. They don't have any. I think they have a minor league hockey team.
Probably a minor league baseball team too.
Exactly, and then you think of Chicago. They have 2 baseball teams, a hockey team, an NBA team, of course, and a football team. So I mean, what you have to have a fan base. Like Cleveland, they have the Browns and the Cavaliers. That's about it.
And the Indians.
In the Indians, but I mean, then we can add in how the